If you're selling a home in the Wilmington area, you need to understand flood insurance because your buyers definitely will ask about it. Here's the straight answer. You don't need flood insurance to sell your home, but you should disclose your property's flood zone designation if you're in a higher risk flood zone. And buyers will need flood insurance if they're getting a mortgage and you're in a high risk flood zone. Hi, I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty. Let's look at this a bit more closely. Every property in our area has a FEMA flood zone designation. The most common are Zone X, minimal risk, Zone AE, high risk, and Zone VE, high risk coastal with wave action. If you're in Zone AE or VE and the buyer is using a mortgage, their lender will require flood insurance. No exceptions. Now, here's something critical that many coastal property owners don't know about. COBRA zones. COBRA stands for Coastal Barrier Resources Act. These are specific coastal areas where federal flood insurance through FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program is not available, period. If your property is in a COBRA zone, buyers cannot get a standard FEMA flood policy, even if they want one. Properties in COBRA zones must get flood insurance through private insurers, which can be significantly more expensive, sometimes 2 to 3 times the cost of FEMA policies. If you're unsure whether your property is in a COBRA zone, this is something we need to find out before listing. It's a material fact that must be disclosed, and it significantly impacts your marketing strategy and target buyer. Here's what I tell sellers. If you currently have flood insurance, keep paying it until closing. Having an active policy you can transfer to the buyer can be a selling point, especially if you've had the policy for years and have a grandfathered rate. If you don't have flood insurance because you're not required to carry it, that's fine. But be prepared to explain your flood zone to buyers. I include this information in the listing details up front so there are no surprises. Now here's where this affects your sale. Flood insurance costs can impact a buyer's monthly payment significantly. In high-risk zones, annual premiums can range from $1,500 to $5,000 or more, depending on the property. Smart buyers factor their offer price. My recommendation, before listing, get a flood insurance quote if you don't already have coverage. This way, you can provide accurate information to potential buyers. I work with insurance agents who can pull this information quickly. Also, check your property's elevation certificate if you have one. This document can sometimes lower insurance costs dramatically, and it's a valuable selling tool. One more thing, if you've made improvements that affect flood risk, like elevating your home, document these. They can reduce insurance costs for the buyer. Bottom line, flood insurance isn't your responsibility as a seller, but being knowledgeable about your property's flood risk and insurance costs makes you a more attractive seller in our coastal market. Questions about your property's flood zone? I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty, offering you authentic coastal luxury at every price point.